Well, guys, I'm out in the morning. I was going to actually go in the dark. It's the first day of standard time. We've just come off daylight savings time. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. We've been out, me and Shauna have been out on the water a lot at sunset. I've never been out at sunrise, and I should have left about 30 minutes earlier. I kind of thought about it, and I was like, do I really want to do that? Uh, I've got my new Canon R8. Right now I'm filming on the M50, and my goal is actually over there. Whoop. And Shauna calls it Bird Island. There's a bunch of pelicans kind of hanging out at Rend Lake right now. I was wanting to try to get some shots of them, so I've got the 200 millimeter on the R8. It's not enough. I need a longer lens for this, but it's f2.8, so I should get a lot of light. We'll see how this goes. I got to be really careful because I have most of my camera gear, all the camera gear that I own right now, a lot of it in a waterproof bag down here at my feet, and I really don't want to lose that. So kind of cloudy, but not, there's blue up there, not totally cloudy. Should maybe be a really pretty sunrise, and sunrise should be in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to kind of make my way over to Bird Island and get out the R8 and see how that goes. So I'm shooting on the R8 with my Sigma. There's a lot of letters here. DG, HS. It's basically a 70-200, an old 70-200 f2.8, and I love this lens. It's really just got some interesting qualities. I think it's just a good optical lens. Autofocus may not be great. I've always struggled with the autofocus on this particular lens on my old Canon 1D, especially in servo mode. It always seemed to lose tracking, but it did incredible on the R8. Like the tracking and the autofocus seemed amazing. I'm just using the out of the box autofocus settings. I don't even really know what they are. It's just incredible. Look at these birds. So the pelicans here are the American white pelican. This is a 14-pound bird. These things are huge. They migrate here from, I don't know, let's see, I guess they're going south for winter. So they live up north, and they're going to eventually make their way down to the Gulf, and they spend a lot of time here in Rend Lake. Gigantic bills on these things, and there's like a fleshy pouch you can see in this one that kind of where they suck up a huge amount of water, and then they pick up fish in there. So these guys will hang around and just kind of stand around, float around at I struggle with buying an R-Series camera. I didn't really want to, but I felt like I was getting left behind and I needed to update. And then I struggled deciding on which one, and it was the R8 after a while. It seems to be the best budget alternative. Most of the functionality of a more expensive camera in the body of a cheaper one. So let's see what it's got going for it. Like I said, amazing autofocus. The sensor quality, I think, is top notch. It's just as good as like a 6D. Great video options, in my opinion. 4K, no crop. That's coming from a 6K over, sampled sensor. So I think the video is fantastic. And here's the cons, this as I see so far. So you get this small, cheap feeling body. To me, it feels very plasticky. Like I said, it feels a lot like the M50. It doesn't feel like a big, solid performing camera. One card slot, which is not a problem for me. I don't need 2 card slots. I'm not doing like important events that could, if they were lost, would be the end of the world, like weddings or something. The card slot is in the battery door, which bothers me. I wish it was on the side because I do use a tripod quite a bit. And also it's just annoying where down there. I wish it was in the side. But the small battery is probably one of the number one reasons why I think pros wouldn't use this. And using a bigger battery like in the 1D, it's just a lot of stress off your mind because the battery is going to hold up. It lasts forever. You don't have to worry about charging it that much even. With these small batteries, you got to be on your toes. But the batteries are cheap. You can buy a triple charger on Amazon for like $20 with 3 batteries and keep them charged. Take them with you. They're quick to swap out, so it's not that big a deal. Viewfinder performance to me is not that good, but I'm used to the 1D viewfinder, which is big, almost 100% view, big, colorful, bright view. This is not as good, and the viewfinder disappears when you're taking pictures, and it shuts off. On the default settings, you pick it up and you look through it, and it's black because you got to wait for the camera to turn on. So I really miss like an optical viewfinder, a real one. There's a missing control wheel on the back, but there are two control wheels. They're just smaller. There's the top normal one that your index finger will use, and then there's a thumb control wheel that you can use. It's kind of embedded in the back of the camera. So you got the two control wheels you need. No front curtain shutter, which wasn't a problem at all for me. I never saw that as an issue. It is weird to open up, take a lens off camera, and the sensor is just like sitting there wide open, no shutter over it. But I guess that's not a problem. Just got to be careful. You got to make sure you always keep a camera cap or a lens on the camera. No IBIS is definitely a problem if you're adapting lenses that don't have image stabilization and you're shooting video. More on that in a minute. Without image stabilization, your video is going to suffer because, like with this 7200, the video was not good. It was very blurry. I needed to shoot at a very high shutter speed to get anything decent. So overall, I think the R8's a great purchase so far for someone who's not a pro but likes to pretend to be one, kind of like me. Most of the performance for half the cost. If it had a battery grip that you could buy, stick two batteries in there, and that would be the thing for me. I'd love it. I think it just a little bigger size, a little bigger grip. I love having that other grip. So that's it so far. Great camera.